Hey guys, it's Eon Games here, and welcome to a graphic tutorial from AMADWORLD Limited. I'm Cameron, I'm the CEO and founder of the company, and today we're going to show you how to make a kind of abstract, own style font. If you want to call it a font, you can. I'm pretty sure you can make it into a font. I'm just not too sure how to. But yeah, let's get started. This is what it's going to look like. So let's go. So you want to start by first either making it what you want, like what size, so 1920 by 1080. I usually start a lot bigger, so if we just got a calculator because I'm bad at math. So 1920 times 3 is 5760, and then do the same for 1080, which is 3240. So the reason I do that is because you'll see if I just make a normal 1920 by 1080. So this is 1920 by 1080, and you'll see there's not much size difference. We've just got 0 and then 0. Like, there is literally no size difference. And why I do that is because if you type the letter T, do that, you make it a little bit bigger and put it in black. You can see on this one, if I just literally copy the layer over so you can see I'm not cheating, how much bigger that is, like, in size comparison to the 1920. So as you can see, it's exactly the same text layer, but this one's like just a lot bigger. See, if we scroll in on the 1920, you can see it gets all like this round edge, which we don't want. It's like, that's called pixelation. And on this, as you can see, we can zoom in for a lot longer. And we can literally go down to like 1 pixel. That's the furthest we can go in with like not much pixelation. So that's why we do it 3 times bigger, which I do it. And it'll be the same difference no matter what. So if you've got a 1920 by 1080 desktop and you use the file size that we just used 3 times bigger than that, it'll still fit the exact same screen. It's just a lot better to do it. So now let's start with the text. Basically, what I usually do, I usually just make a random shape. So if we want to go with, let's go with a rectangular marquee tool. Make any shape you want, any shape. Fill it in black, which I do Control and Delete with. I hold Alt and press Delete at the same time. And then we'll go to the ellipse tool. So you can do this whatever way you want with whatever different shapes and tools you want. It won't really affect the process. So if we just do, I don't know, let's make it a little bit longer. And let's do that. Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll get rid of where this bit crosses over, so here. Right, now you can see by holding Control and pressing T, we can do whatever. I duplicated this one by holding Control and pressing J. So now if we want to make, let's say, the word mad. So we have these two fonts, sticks. Let's call them sticks. So we have that, and then we can have this one as the M. So what we do, we right click that, we go to flip horizontal, and you can see it like we do this thing now. You can do this with any shape you create on a Photoshop, by the way. So you can do that, and what I usually do, I only ever use one shape when I'm doing stuff like this. So this would be my one shape that I'll use for the entire thing. So what we do, we'll duplicate that, go to horizontal again, flip horizontal, and then we'll just start making kind of an M shape. This. I'm making it bigger, by the way, by holding Shift and Alt and just dragging the bottom, just to resize it a little bit. I think that's cool. And then we'll do that by pressing Control T, flip horizontal again, and then we'll just line this up. Like that. So we have a quite nice looking M now, I feel. So there we go, there's our M. And basically it's really simplistic what we do. So we just go back to the first layer. You can rename these if you want. I never rename my layers. It's just bad practice, I guess. So now we need to do the A, so we'll flip this horizontal. So what I did there, I duplicated by holding Control and J. Did that and then press Control and T to move it around and stuff. So now we need to use our A and make an A. So again, Control T, flip horizontal. So what we'll do here, because it might look a little bit plain if we keep doing it like that. So if we just flip it a little bit, just delete that layer, because we want it all to be symmetrical, that's all. So do that, flip horizontal, and then let's do that. And make sure the line matches up. We'll duplicate one of these layers again, like this, and we'll make like whatever we really wanted to, really. So if we want to do the A like that, we do the A like this. So this is looking like a little bit more of a Chinese/Japanese font at the moment. That's why it's so great to use this technique, because you can do it with any different styles you want. There's a few examples on screen now of some of the stuff I've done using this technique. So yeah, if you just want to keep going, and then if you want to make the D, same again. Do this, flip horizontal, like that. Control J, Control T. So then I want to make this smaller by holding Shift and Alt, and then dragging that down and flip that horizontal and then vertical. No, like that, yeah. Like that, and then flip that vertical, because we want to go up. So now that says mad, in slightly a way. Let me just get rid of this so it's a little bit easier to read. Boom. But yeah, there's nothing stopping you with kind of deleting some of it, and like if you want to do like little slashes in the D, let's say, just do that, and then literally you create just whatever you wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. So yeah, this is all fully customizable. So now what we'll do now, we'll go to View, New Guide, and we'll type in 50% on vertical axis, and then New Guide horizontal, make sure that's selected, and then do the 50% on that. So that'll give us our center point of our document, as you can see. So let's just go, boom, select all these layers, and then press Control T. And as you can see, it's not really center at the moment, but as soon as we start playing around, make sure that A is in that center. It's not going to necessarily mean this rotation point. That's not going to be that. That's always going to be the center point, because we have all these different shapes. Okay, and now my favorite thing to do with things like this and textures like this is to add textures to it, to have like a little bit more depth and a little bit more, let's say, attractiveness. What we simply do is go to Google, just type in grunge text. This link will be in the description to some of these textures. That's the word I was looking for. So you can see Google offers you a very, very large choice of grunge textures. Let me just close that off. I can do that later. Yeah, offers you a lot of texture. So if we just pick any you like, really. So all I typed in there for Google was grunge texture. If you wanted like a metal one, there's stuff like that. Scratches, black and white, anything. What we'll do, we'll go with, what's this one? We'll go with this one. Okay, it's called Free Texture Grunge, and then 2010 829. I'll have a link to this in the description. So all we do is copy the image, and then Control V to paste it in. And then basically what we want to do is cover the entire text in that. And what I always do, this is all your text, so by hitting the bottom one, just clicking on it, holding Shift, and then clicking the top one, and then pressing Control J to duplicate them, and then Control E to merge them, and then hiding all these different layers. So basically you still have all your layers that you've done, but now instead of them all like have it like all one by one, it's all just one now. Basically what we do, we click on the little square there, we hold Control, and then we click on that little square where our text is, and then down here we have a thing called the mask tool. So what we'll do, we'll mask it, and I usually hide that layer. So now you can see we've got this texture, and you can hold Control and H to hide that. And you can see we've got this like textured mad thing, which looks pretty cool, I think. So what we'll do, we'll press Control and then U, and then we'll just correct it a little bit, so it looks a little bit nicer. So I'd let them blacks in, like you can do whatever you want. You can make it a little bit whiter. You can add some color if you want by pressing Colorize and then do some color, stuff like that. Which we might actually do. Let's do that, but not have it full. Have a really discrete orange. So now we have that. What we'll also do, we'll double click on that layer. We'll go to drop shadow, like that, move that out of the way. And then we'll just add something that looks pretty, so opacity to 100%. Size to about 35. Spread. Let's not do spread. And then also what we'll do is we will Control J that layer, zoom out by holding Control and pressing the minus key, holding Alt and Shift, and then dragging from this corner to make it bigger, and then centering that up with the ones we already have. So basically what I did, I centered that A up with that A. And then what we'll do, by holding Control and pressing the plus key, is we'll put this layer underneath. So that one's this one's the predominant layer. We'll change the opacity to a little bit darker, like that. And you can do that as many times as you want. You can do it again if you want and make it a little bit bigger to give it a little bit more depth. But it all depends on what style you're going for. Like that. Okay. So now that we've got that, we want to make a nice background for it. Let's say if you want to make this a logo, you could by just getting rid of that. If you just want to make like a transparent text to put like on a banner or something, you can just get rid of that white background by pressing the little I, go into File, Save As, and then we just go to PNG and save it as PNG, because that means it has no background. You'll still have that opacity, but you won't have the white solid background, so you can add it to anything you want. What we'll do is we'll go to the gradient, and it's one of my favorite gradients I like to use. It's like off black, so the off black will be 39393939, and then we'll do it to black, so it gives it a little bit more depth, like that. So you can see on the gradient editor, it's like this nice little gradient. So what we'll do, we'll click radial up there, and then we'll select our layer at the bottom, go Control H to see our guidelines, hold Shift and then drag down to the bottom like that. And you can see we have this really nice white, kind of off black to black gradient. If you want to make that off black a little bit bigger, you just drag up from further on, and so on and so on. We'll go to grunge texture again on Google. We'll type in orange. So you can do this for any different color. I'm going to go orange grunge texture. We're going to find a nice little textured one, which will be. Should we try this one? Yeah, let's go with this one. Save image as. Sorry, not save image. Copy image, and then drag this to file size. Some of these textures might not work because they might be a little bit too bad quality, let's say. And what I want to do, I want to put that there, like that, and then we'll go to our eraser tool, make the size a little bit bigger, and then take the harness down, hold click, hold shift, and then just drag across. And you'll get this really nice thing. You can also do that by going to the rectangular marquee tool, selecting over it, right clicking, pressing feather, and then by 30 pixels, pressing enter, and then just doing that, and you'll have the same look. And then what we'll do, we'll just play with the blending options. That's what I always do. See if anything looks cool, anything looks nice. It might not. So what you might have to do, you might have to go to opacity and have a look at that. See, stuff like that. If you're doing something blue, that could look cool. But I mean, the grey looks cool. But let's go to normal, and then let's go to the fill, and then let's just drop that down a little bit, like that. So there's still a little bit of colour in there, like that. So basically, what we have now is this really cool logo that we did. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, guys, and you want more, make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to comment to me what tutorials you guys would like. I can do After Effects, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Premiere Pro. So if you want any different tutorials, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and share this video. Subscribe, of course, to the Mad World channel. I'm Aeon Games Cameron, and I'm out. See you later, guys.